The next authentic source after the Quran is the Hadith. That's the sayings and the actions of the beloved Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I think in the notes it is put on the last page. Last page it is. Last page. Now as far as, Ya Allah, we'll be running short of time. Normally, if you have heard my speeches, those of you or most of you, all of the Quran and say Hadith, Quran authentic Hadith. Most of them say Quran and Hadith. Now Hadith means the sayings and the actions of the Prophet. What the Prophet said, that becomes the source of knowledge and hujjah for us. Again, it's saying there's something what he has said, something what he has commanded. We are not going to course on Hadith, but the commandment of the Prophet, mashallah, carries a great weight and it's a hujjah for us. And we believe even this has been preserved in the authentic form. The hadith that we have are various. There are Sahih Hadith, there are Zaif Hadith, there are Mawdu Hadith. There are different classifications of Hadith. Time will not permit us to go into detail. But broadly, there are three classifications: Sahih, Zaif, and Mawdu. Sahih, Zaif, and Mawdu. Sahih means authentic, Zaif means weak, Mawdu means fabricated. So whenever you use as a hujjah, as argument, as a proof, only Sahih Hadith is acceptable. You can take Zaif Hadith, not that you can't, but that doesn't become as a hujjah. If there is no text in the Quran or the Hadith and you use a Zaif Hadith and say, okay, it can be used, yes, it has got its importance. I'm not saying it has no importance. But as a hujjah, as a proof that, okay, this is fard or haram in Islam, it should either be from the Quran or the Sahih Hadith. If you quote a Zaif Hadith, that cannot be a hujjah as a fard. It may be right. Zaif Hadith means it has got weaknesses. Mawdu means it's concocted. How to identify a Hadith is Sahih? There are rules and regulations, there are criteria. This is not a lecture on Hadith. As I said, it's not a knowledge-based program. There are different categories of Rawi, narrators. The Muhaddithin, it's art. Normal people, see, when you have less knowledge, Quran, only Quran. Hadith, because they don't know the science of Hadith. Anyone who knows the science of Hadith, Alhamdulillah, the Muhaddithin, that those who are experts on Hadith, have done such a beautiful work that it's a scientific art to identify whether Hadith is Sahih or not. You and I, we are laymen. We can't do that. We quote after the work has been done by the Muhaddithin. You as a layman cannot do surgery. I'm a bachelor, so little bit I can do. But if you see blood, you run away. What is the blood? By way cutting to save the patient. Oh, person is cutting using a knife. Killing. What killing? Fine. He is cutting. You can see blood to save him. So layman may think, who doesn't know about surgery, he's cutting. Blood. Run away. He's an expert. These muhaddithin, mashallah, have compiled all the works and the lifestyle of all the narrators called as Rawi, and they've categorized them into 12 categories. One is Sikka number 1, means all authentic. They are the Sahabas. Then category 2, category 3, category 4. Last is category 12, the Qazzab, the liars. We aren't going to do a course on Hadith. And neither am I a muhaddith. I'm just a student of knowledge. Yes, I've spoken to muhaddithins and met them and talked to them, alhamdulillah. So what I'm telling you is by having sessions of few hours with one of the top scholars available in the world, alhamdulillah. I don't have a degree from any university. I have a degree of doctor, medical doctor. Alhamdulillah. Then I got an honorary PhD from Gambia, honorary. I don't consider. I'm just a student of knowledge, alhamdulillah. So Hadith, when we quote Quran and Sahih Hadith. Again, the category of Sahih Hadith. The category of Sahih Hadith, again, there are different categorization of Hadith. Where there's Mutawatir Hadith and this and that. Amongst one of the categorizations in the Hadith, the Sahih Hadith, again, are further classified into 10 categories. One is Muttafiq Alayk. Muttafiq Alayk means common in Bukhari and Muslim. Before we go to Bukhari and Muslim, let me tell you that many people have a misconception when they say Siyasata. Do you know about Siyasata? Siyasata. Know about Siyasata. What is the meaning of Siyasata? Give the microphone here.
The 6 books of Hadith, Imam Bukhari's Sahih al-Bukhari, Imam Muslim's Sahih Muslim, Imam Tirmidhi's Jami al-Tirmidhi, Imam Nasa'i's Sunan Nasa'i, and Ibn Majah.
What is the meaning of siyasetta?
The classified Sahih books.
Is it correct or is it wrong?
There is classes, first class, second class, and third class, which
The word siyasetta, I know you told in the introduction that you have got your scholar's degree. I'm speaking to a scholar, I am a student. Yesterday you said in the introduction.
Astaghfirullah.
No, you said that. I heard it. Alhamdulillah, you may be a scholar, I don't know. But again, the word siyasetta, the 6 authentic books, is a misnomer. It's a, what is the meaning of misnomer? Misnomer means a wrong terminology. Siyasetta is a wrong terminology normally used in many Islamic universities, including India, Pakistan. Siyasetta means 6 authentic books. It is a misnomer. You know, people call Muslims as Mohammedan. Mohammedan is the right word? Is Mohammedan a right word to call to a Muslim? It's a misnomer because we don't worship Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. We love him, we revere him, we obey him, we follow him, but we don't worship him. Correct? So Mohammedan is a misnomer. Same, siyasetta is a misnomer. The right word is kutubu sitta. It is not siyasetta. But in Indian, most siyasetta. I have an hour siyasetta. Siyasetta means the Sahih 6 books. No. It is kutubu sitta. Means the 6 books. Kutub, books. Sitta means 6. Siya means Sahih. So it's not 6 authentic set of books. And we know the 6 books that is there. Even the 6 differ. In the scholars, the which 6 to take also differs. Bukhari is there, Muslim is there, Abu Dawud is there, Tirmidhi is there, there's Ibn Majah, and Nasai. Some scholars say no, Ibn Majah should not be, Imam Muwatta Malik should be there. Differ. We don't go into the details, it's not a class of hadith. But anyway, all the 7 books are. Siyasetta is a misnomer because all 6 books are not authentic. There's ijma among the scholars, only 2 set of books, hadith collections, that is Bukhari and Muslim, all authentic. These 2 are the only set of books which are 100% authentic. The remaining 4, Abu Dawud, Nisai, Tirmidhi, and Ibn Majah, or Imam Muwatta Malik, all the hadith in them, most of them are Sahih, not all. Very important. So when someone quotes you Bukhari, khalas. As a layman, you agree it is Sahih. Someone quotes you Muslim, but check up it's there. Many people quote Bukhari, it's not there in Bukhari. Okay, ask them for reference. Chapter number, hadith number, okay, check it's there. If it's Bukhari as a layman, you accept it is. There are scholars who have said, okay, 1 or 2 hadith here or there. We won't go into that. That is the PhD level. Whether 1 or 2 may not be right or wrong. As a whole, we accept that all the hadith in Bukhari are Sahih. All the hadith in Muslim are Sahih. All the hadith in the other 4 books, most of them are Sahih, but not all. It's ijma amongst all the scholars, amongst all the muhaddiseen. Because the main purpose of Imam Abu Dawud or Imam Tirmidhi or Ibn Majah wasn't to collect only Sahih. But in Bukhari and Muslim, these 2 Aimmas, the main purpose was besides compiling, only compiling what is Sahih, nothing else. So only 2 set of books of hadith, 100% authentic. It is the collection done by Imam Bukhari and Imam Muslim. The other 4, alhamdulillah, most of them are correct. But why do we use this word Kutubu Sitta? We use this word Kutubu Sitta means if you read these 6 books of hadith, you will know most of the important factors of Islam. Not 100%, but most. Because hadith, there are many. There are 1 million hadith. We'll come to it later on. Now, where are you going to read 1 million? So, the scholars say, if you read these 6 books, majority of the fiqh, of the usul, of the derivations is there. Almost all, if not all. Most of it. So, that's right. But among all the books, the most authentic is Bukhari. But every school of thought may not agree of to quote only Sahih Hadith. So when they say Quran and Sunnah, it may also include Zaif. But we as Muslims, we only follow the Quran and the Sahih Hadith. The Zaif Hadith has its importance. We don't have to negate it completely, but as a hujjah, as a proof, as an argument, as a must to follow, as a fard. If you say it's fard, it can only be from Quran and Sahih Hadith. If it's zaif, it has its own importance. Two zaif hadith can come and make it into a sahih. So in the sahih classification again, the muhaddithin say in the classification, the compilation done by Imam Bukhari, it is said he had memorized about 300,000 ahadith and analyzed 600,000 ahadith, out of which he has picked up 7,563 and authenticated as sahih. Some publications have 7,275. We have the 9 volumes. In English, Arabic is in 1 volume. There are different prints. Again, when I say 5 volumes, oh, I got a book in 3 volumes. It may change. The print may change. They may make it short, make 5 into 3. They can make 5 into 1 also. Therefore, I mentioned the name of the publication. So Bukhari, this Bukhari, most of the translations in English are in 9 volumes. Urdu may have 6 volumes. Arabic has got only 1 volume. So please don't. There are many people who quote and tell me, brother, okay. One thing I forgot in the translation, that brother Zakir, we checked up your references of the Quran. Alhamdulillah. 95% correct, but 2-3 places, wrong. I said, you're wrong. Yes, I can make a mistake. I'm not saying I'm infallible. These people don't know that even in numbering of the verses of the Quran, it wasn't revealed chapter number, verse number. The ayat was revealed. Now, when you give references of the Quran, there are different classification of verses. The ayat is the same. The Arabic word does not a difference of even a single alphabet. But it did not come verse number 1, verse number 2. So some of the classifications have converted 1 verse into 2 verses. So when you read, but the difference is not, when you read Surah Ma'idah chapter 5, when I say, Ya alladhina amanu innamal khamru wal maisuru, Surah Ma'idah chapter 5 verse 90, but there's not 90, it's actually 93. No, he's referring to another classification. So when you find that the reference is missing, and if it misses by 1 or 2, you have to try and find out which classification has he used. So even in numbering, like Surah Fatiha, some say Bismillah is 1 verse. Some people start with Alhamdulillah. But in the end, it both come to 7. So when they say Bismillah as first verse, they merge the 5th or 6th or 6th and 7th as 1 verse, it comes as 7. When you say Bismillah is not verse number 1, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen is verse number 1, yet it comes to 7. Because cross-reference of the Quran of Surah Hijr, chapter number 15, verse number 87, that the oft-repeated 7 verses. So even in difference of opinion, the verses in Surah Fatiha, yet the 7. But otherwise, Surah Ma'idah has got 2-3 verses more. So when you give references, and you check the references, it may be that 1 or 2 in the different Qurans may differ. That doesn't mean that it's a mistake. They have used a different classification for the verses of the Quran. Now coming back to the Hadith, in the classification of the Hadith, Imam Bukhari may Allah grant him Jannah, Rahimullah, his mission was to collect the Sahih Hadith, and his only job was whether it's Sahih or not. He collected Sahih Hadith, he memorized more than 300,000, and he classified as 7,275 as Sahih. Now, in his Jamia Sahih that you have here, if I quote that Imam Bukhari has classified the Hadith Sahih, but it's not there in the Jamia Sahih, can it be true? Bukhari has classified a Hadith as Sahih, but it's not there in Sahih Bukhari. Can it be possible? Yes or no? Farik.
For example, in Bukhari there are 9 volumes. So if Imam Bukhari has classified certain hadiths, so certain scholars or certain other people, they summarize Bukhari. So if it's there in the summary, so that may be missing in the summary.
I'm saying that it's a hadith of Bukhari classified as Sahih, but not in the 9 volumes. Is it possible? Who says yes? Raise your hand. Brother Imran, Imam Bukhari has classified Sahih, but not in the Sahih Bukhari.
It is possible that it is not mentioned in the Sahih Bukhari because the Sahih Bukhari itself is a collection of hadith as per mention or the sayings of Prophet Muhammad himself. But whether it's authentic or not is something that Bukhari himself said. Yeah, so it does not need to be in the collection.
What was my question?
You asked.
Do you know when I'm asking you yes or no?
Yes.
See, I'm experienced in the field. Sometimes I ask the person knowing he knows the answer. Sometimes I ask knowing very well doesn't know the answer. I asked a question. Imam Bukhari has classified it as Sahih, but not then the Jamia Sahih, the 9 volumes. Is it possible?
It is possible.
How? Give an example.
Because
Do you know or you don't know?
it is possible, is all like.
How is possible? Give explanation. एक क्या yes or no? Yes बोलने का 50% right. हाथ ऊपर करो. You don't know the answer.
I don't know the exact
Yeah.
reason.
Do you have knowledge of hadith? Yes, brother Vinod. Is it possible that Sahih Bukhari has classified it as Sahih and it's not in the Jamia Sahih? If you know, raise your hand. Don't just waste time. I'm very short of time.
Okay, because he mentioned.
Are you sure the answer is correct? Are you sure? Then say, otherwise don't say, please. Forget it. Who's sure of the answer? Sure of the answer, then raise your hand. Let's come back to Farik.
Based on certain categories, Imam Bukhari has classified his hadith in
Which
Sahih
category?
Bukhari.
Which category?
There are about 7 categories that he has classified, and other hadiths also he has classified it, but every scholar had his own strictness. Like Imam Bukhari was the most strict when he collected certain hadiths. So based on that, he compiled those hadiths based on his strictness in Bukhari. There may be certain other hadiths which may be in other books which he may have not put it based on his criteria for classification in Sahih Bukhari. So he may have categorized in some
Who
other
agrees with
books.
the answer of Farik? Raise your hand. Who agrees with the answer? Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who disagrees? Raise your hand. Okay, the 6 agree. No one disagrees. Others don't know. Correct. You cannot know also. What Farik said is right, but to give you a better example, that Imam Bukhari in his Jamia Sahih, he said, I will take only hadith of those narrators up to category 3. Even a hadith narrated by category 5 is Sahih. But he says, no, in my Jamia, I will take narrators only up to category 3. I will not take a 5. Though 5 comes into the category of Sahih, if it's narrator number 5, categories of narrators, best, then next, 12 categories. In Sahih Hadith, you can even go up to category number 5. But he said, no, I want the purest. That's my criteria for this collection. So he takes only Hadith which are up to category number 3. Khalas. There are other books of Imam Bukhari which are Sahih, but not so strict as Al-Jami' al-Sahih al-Bukhari. You understand? Who knew this answer besides Farik? Raise your hand now. You don't raise like that. Either you raise like that or keep it down. Okay, 3 knew. Alhamdulillah. So, Imam Bukhari had a set of criteria of being extra strict. There are certain criteria, 5 criteria for hadith to be Sahih. Bukhari went to the extent of adding more strictness. Okay, you pass in 40. No, I want 80% pass. So 40% is pass, but in his Jamia only, he has taken 80%. Just to give you an example. Sahih Muslim had his additional criteria. Besides the 5 criteria for Sahih, he said, no, I take hadith up to narrator category number 4. But the criteria of strictness of Imam Muslim was less than Bukhari. But there were some criteria which Imam Muslim used, which Bukhari didn't use. So among the strict compilers of the hadith, the strictest is Bukhari, stricter than others. But he has said it is Sahih, but not up to this level Sahih. Pass, but not distinction, goes into the other books. So there are books written by Bukhari and compiled hadith which are Sahih, but not falling in the 9 volumes. 9 volumes of English translation. Urdu has 6, Arabic has 1, so don't go on volumes. But the main compilation. Is it clear? So you as a person of knowledge should know these things. Now there are people who said, oh, Bukhari has quoted Zaif hadith. Are there any Zaif hadith in Bukhari? In this book, Sahih Bukhari. Are there any Zaif hadith? Who says no? Raise your hand. No Zaif hadith. Not a single in this book I'm carrying. Raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Who says there are Zaif hadith? Raise your hand. Full or down? No half. He is a friend from Jamiatul Imam. In this particular volume, Just a couple of minutes back, I said there are no Zaif hadith in Bukhari. Now I'm saying, is there? It's contradictory. There are in this book. Bukhari had a style that when he tied the bab, when he wrote the preface of every collection, there's a kitab of wudu, kitab of salah, kitab of many. He tied a bab. Bab means he's opening the chapter with. Bab means door, but in English, your door doesn't match when he starts a chapter. His main compilation is different in the body. But before he used the preface and used certain hadiths which was zaif. He knew it was zaif. For example, this hadith was narrated by Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu. He knows, for example, the people of Medina, if it's Ibn Abbas, khalas, they will believe in it. But down the line, the narrators in it may be zaif. He knows that. So hadith per se is zaif because Ibn Abbas is sahaba, we agree with it. But the third, fourth narrators are not right, may not be sikha, may not be truthful. So according to hadith is zaif, but he mentioned that why? Because some people have that. Ibn Abbas is there in the chain of narrator, khalas, I'm going to follow it. Not checking the other. So he purposely used certain hadiths which was zaif, but not in his main body. In the book it is there, but in the Jamia, in the main body it's not there, it is there only in the bab. It's only there in the preface. Knowing very well, it is not a sahih hadith, because he wanted to get other people to follow that. So he quotes the hadith, which is not sahih according to his criteria. It is not even sahih according to other people's criteria, but comes into the preface. If preface is the right word to use. Do you understand? It is just to give you. Just can I give the microphone? There. Last row.
You mean the one he uses without the sanad?
Yes.
Only the
Bab.
text, only
Yes.
bab.
In the preface, That's not part of the.
That's not a part of the hadith.
If you see the Sahih Bukhari, everything is a sanad.
The one he does not number.
Yes, correct. The one which will not come in 7,275. Now here it differs 1 or 2 here. It will not come in 7,275 or 7,563. It's not numbered, you're right. It comes in the bab, but comes in chapter. So if you say, I'm quoting Sahih Bukhari, volume number 7, book of dress, chapter number 80. So in the chapter, it starts with the hadith which is not numbered, but in the numbering, everything is Sahih. So you should have knowledge. So as a Dai, if you know these things which are very critical, when someone may pose a question to you, may ask. So you should know it is from Bukhari. But there are scholars who have got together and said, even though the hadith is zaif, it becomes sahih by, there is a thing like called as chain of narrators, locking, interlocking. Let's not go into details. We can spend only years talking only about hadith. This is not a session of knowledge. But you should have certain things which are important to know. So in the classification of Sahih Hadith, Bukhari had his criteria which were additional to the 5 normal criteria. But the criteria of Bukhari was the strictest. Imam Muslim was less strict, but there were certain criteria of Imam Muslim which is not there in Bukhari. So according to the Muhaddithin, the best amongst all the Sahih Hadith is the Muttafiq Alayh. Muttafiq Alayh means it is appearing in Bukhari and Muslim both. We have the Lulu al-Marjan. There's a compilation in English, it's in 2 volumes. In Arabic, it's called as Lulu al-Marjan. And Muttafiq Alayh means it's following the basic 5 criteria of Sahih Hadith. Also following criteria of Bukhari, also Muslim. So, maximum tested is the highest. Muttafiq Alayh. Then comes the Hadith which comes in Bukhari, Sahih Bukhari. Then which comes 3rd category, Sahih Muslim. 4th category of Sahih Hadith is, the Muhaddithin, they say, that Imam Bukhari only analyzed 6 lakh hadith. And there are much more than that. So this hadith didn't reach him. Now we are analyzing the hadith based on the criteria of Bukhari. Other scholars said Imam Muslim did not get this hadith. We are analyzing on the criteria of Imam Muslim. So 4th category is the hadith not compiled by Bukhari and Muslim, but fulfills the criteria of Muttafiq Alayh, comes as category 4. Category 5, the hadiths which were not analyzed by Imam Bukhari but by other scholars, but fulfill the criteria of Imam Bukhari, that comes as category 5. Category 6 is the hadith that was not analyzed by Imam Muslim, but analyzed by other scholars on the criteria of Imam Muslim, category 6. Then the 7th category is Sahih hadith, only following the criteria of Sahih, but with a continuous chain. 8th category is only Sahih hadith with interlocking chain. Interlocking chain means 2 hadiths are there, and there is some problem in the chain of narration, but with interlocking with 2 different hadith, it gets interlocked and becomes a Sahih Hadith. That's category number 8. Category number 9 is the Hasan Hadith. Hasan means fulfilling all the criteria. There's a minor thing which yet it comes into the accepted Hadith. It's called as Hasan with a continuous chain. The 10th category is the Hadith which is Hasan but with the interlocking chain. So in Hadith of accepted, Hadith is again classified into 10 categories. There are different categories of classification. Many. Let's not go into what's a mutawatir hadith and what is a... This is not a session of hadith.